Well, stocks and biplanes, well, what do they have in common? Well, think about if you were taking a trip to Memphis in a biplane, you could either be in the passenger seat or you could be hanging on the wing. Now, one is a little bit more dangerous than the other, but you're not going to get there any quicker hanging on the wing. Same thing with investing in the stock market. If you look at the Dow companies back in the 1970s, all these different companies that are in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, 30 of them. If you look at how many of them are left today, only 5 remain from that original list. If you look at those companies and say, well, you know, I recognize some of those names of those companies, but if you look at the returns of those companies, 4 out of 5 of those stocks actually have underperformed the Dow over the past 20 years, and the underperformance is about 26% on average. Not too hot over that period in time. Well, some people say, well, I'm going to just build my own mutual fund. I'm going to save the management fees and put some stocks together and have my own mutual fund. Well, that sounds really good, but let's say we have the S&P 500, 500 companies, and the average share price, let's say it's $50. And now we buy in 100 share units, round lots, to keep the costs down. It takes about $2.5 million to get diversified across all of those companies. Pretty daunting when it gets down to it, especially when you think about that you might want to have around 12,000 stocks in your portfolio. There's no greater expected return to be had from owning one company versus 500 companies, so the more the merrier when it comes to investing. Another thing, if you look at in 1958, the average amount of time that a company stays in the S&P 500 biggest companies, was about 61 years. Now it's only 18 years. Companies come and go much more rapidly than ever before. So the idea is this: add more companies to get rid of that risk that any of those companies will hurt you. Get rid of the risk that doesn't pay you anything to take. And that's why we diversify.